What's behind the magic door? I don't know. I never actually figured it out. It was always my intention in Trokair to make things that were there but weren't necessarily meant for the PCs at that moment. That's a weird way of saying, if you remember from the sandbox video, I had talked at length about this guy's campaign where he created a consistent world and PCs would come across things and they knew where certain challenges were. And that in the dungeons he created, he always put places where they needed to come back for it, either because of higher challenges or puzzles or riddles. I had the same idea long before when I first created Trokair. I had the idea for a door in the sewers beneath the city ruins of Trokair. And I always thought, how do they open this door? Well, the only way to open the door is for a cleric to use their turn undead power to channel at the door, and then the door would open. And my thought was, it wasn't so much that that's how the door opened. The door had always stood in as an example of, well, what if the players don't have a cleric? What if they're healers, they've got like a paladin and a druid who do the healing for them, and they don't have a cleric, so nobody has turn undead at the low levels when they're in the sewers. I said, okay, well, they'll have to go back to town and hire a cleric, or find a cleric somewhere, or maybe one of the PCs will die later and then roll up a cleric instead. And that's how they'll get through the door. The door would always be there and they could come back to it. And so today I was thinking about that door. And I was wondering, because I had never actually figured it out, what the hell is behind the door? I have multiple pictures. Let's go to picture number 2. This one's kind of small. This. So you're traveling through these dank, dripping, ancient, overgrown, dangerous sewers, and you come across this. I mean, it's not hidden, it's a conspicuous door. And you can tell it's a door, but it's weird and it's magical and you can't open it. And you can't, like, a lot of people will try and dig through it with picks or something, just doesn't work. What is behind it? What would you want to be behind it? The most obvious answer, go ahead and think about it. I mean, it can be anything you want. It could be more sewer. It could be a hidden little hideout for a cult that lives in the sewers, or at least has a little, base in the sewers that only they know how to get through the doors, so they're protected. It could open up into a completely different world. I mean, it might be, if you open that door, it's a magic portal to a forest on an island somewhere on the other side of the world. Who knows why that would be there, but you could make up a reason for it. That's one of my favorite things to do, is to take just weird, disparate ideas and figure out how they go together. I like it. It's problem solving. It's like puzzles to me. So I'm thinking about what's behind that door. I'm probably not going to answer it in this video. This is just, if you go looking on Google Images for, mysterious door or magic door or something like that, you get all these weird real photos. I like having illustrations. Real photos kind of take you out of the role playing, in my estimation. I would rather have an illustration than a photo to look at when I'm doing role playing, but that's fine. And but depending on what level, depending on what lies behind the door, you can change the method of opening the door. You might have originally intended for the PCs to go through the door with a cleric's turn undead attempt, but maybe the PCs didn't roll up a cleric and they're coming back a long time from now and they want to go through the door now. And since then, you've had this really awesome idea of sending them halfway across the world to a forest. You can do that. Just change the way that you open up the door. You could even keep it the same way and say a cleric has to turn undead, but they have to reach a certain power of undead in order for the door to open. Or maybe in the dungeon they're doing right now and they plan to go back, you could just have a simple, like a black iron rod. And that rod, if you touch it to the door, opens the door. Or rather than the door actually opening, when you touch the black rod to the door seems to shatter like black glass and fall to the floor. And after the PCs walk through, when none of them are looking at the door, the next time they look back, the door is completely back to normal. That's pretty cool. I just thought that up. So that was my video idea for today, was what's behind the door. I honestly don't know. I'm still trying to flesh out Trokair. I suck at that job. All kinds of good ideas, but no actual depth to them. And so that door currently stands in the sewers. The method of opening it, that I have a number of different ways, but who cares about how to open it if you don't know what's behind it? And that's what I have to figure out. So I'll work on that, and go ahead and post in the comments. I love it when people have comments or questions. So until next time, bye bye.